y'all don't know who Khleo is, I feel like y'all aren't in tune with life. Khleo has had roles in Roll Bound. Oh, he was Zero, and now he's doing his music thing, and he, toured with Bow Wow. Did his thing with Soulja Boy for a little bit. But with further ado, Khleo is on the biz with D. How you doing, Khleo?
I'm doing really well, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show this evening.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Not a problem. So tell the listeners who may not be so in tune, like I said, tell them a little bit about you.
Man, they may have seen me in the film Holes as the character Zero. They may have saw the film Roll Bounce with me and Bow Wow. I played the character Next Mike. The film Walking Tall with The Rock. The film Dirty with Cuba Gooding Jr. Sons of Anarchy, ER, House, The Bernie Mac Show, 90210. The list kind of goes on and on.
Wow. So you've pretty much done a lot of acting, pretty much. Just looking at the roster and from what you just said. So
yeah,
I've got. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking a question. My bad.
Oh, that's fine. I was about to. So, what has been, or Didi, fact, I think you want to ask this question. Go ahead. Ask that question. Go ahead.
Well, I have a few. My first question to you is, what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years, as far as your career-wise?
Next 5 years, man, I've hoped to have created, one of the most looked at brands in the entertainment industry. I want to be able to have produced and directed my own film. I've wanted to be able to, by that time, have been on a world tour, have put out a successful album, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just continue to work hard.
Oh, that's what's up. That's good. Okay, so since you said about tour, say you're headlining the tour, who would you want to go on tour with you?
Oh, man. I think a good tour right now would probably be like myself, females maybe, Big Sean, John Hart, Drippy Graham. I think would be a dope tour setup. Okay. All the new young artists.
Oh, what would be the name of your tour?
Probably the So Many Girls tour or the Slick Living tour.
Oh, I like that. Okay, you go ahead, David.
Okay. So, Holes, how was the auditioning process for that movie? Because I'm just curious to know.
Man, Holes was a hell of a process. I had to come in for 3 callbacks, and then after the callbacks, there was a screen test, and then after the screen test, there was a call to ask me if I could change my hair to look more kind of like an afro. Man, that process was long and tedious, man, but it was all worth it to be able to book, the breakout film in my career.
Wow. Now, how?
Go ahead, Didi. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know what made him cut his hair. I loved his afro.
Oh, man, what made me cut my hair? I was turning 18. At that time, I was on the set of Styles' music video, Out of My System, and I was about to turn 18 the very next day. And, I was just ready for a change. I had my hair for so long. I was like, 18, I'm about to be, going into my grown era. So I just decided to let it all go. My mom was not too happy about that.
I wasn't either, but I like your short hair, though. But I like the long hair better.
Oh, okay, cool.
So what would you have to say would be your favorite role? Sorry, Didi, I had to jump to before you.
That's fine.
My favorite role, man, would definitely have to be it would definitely have to be Zero, man. I had a lot of fun, to be honest. I was just, at that point in time, I knew that acting was something I wanted to do since the age of 5, but to, have a starring role in a film is something I dreamed for. So to be able to actually have it, man, it was all fun, man, to be out there with, people my age and just enjoying it, enjoying the experience. So definitely the character definitely the character Zero in the film Holes.
So now I also know that you and Shia LaBeouf had, wrote the theme song for that. what kind of inspiration did you guys get when writing that?
We just tried to describe everything that was going on in the movie and the book. Actually, we tried to almost create a theme song. Like if there was 30 to 40 kids out in the desert digging, we tried to figure out how would they pass the time? That's how they would pass the time. They would be chanting together. So we came up with the digger song.
So now,
what's in your iPod right now?
My iPod right now.
What are you bumping?
There's some Juicy J in there. There's some 2 Chainz in there. There's some Drake in there. There's some good music as far as Kanye and his crew in there. And there's a lot of new music from myself. With this collaboration album I'm doing with Chris Batson. So, I'm constantly being replayed.
So let's talk about that collaboration album, because I know I was just watching. Well, you were just on Ustream, and I was watching you guys, interact and play the music and stuff like that, and it definitely sounds like, hits. So what inspired you guys to, come together and do this album together?
Really just, I think, the respect for each other's music and the respect for each other's fan bases. I when I first heard Chris and I heard his voice, I was like, man, this is something that I've never heard before, but it's something that I feel the world needs to hear. So, when we got in the studio, we literally just started knocking records out. I think we did almost 4 to 6 records in a day, something like that. It was crazy. Yeah, we just started knocking them out, and it was just the overall vibe of everything. And I know the fans have been waiting on something like this for a long time. And I felt that it's gonna be something that they felt before, but it's on a whole different level, a whole other level.
Right. And I definitely feel like you guys are taking us there, especially with the name of especially the joint you guys played earlier. What is the name of that song? Because I'm drawing blanks right now.
It actually has 2 names. At this point, it's Time, and then we're trying to figure out, do we call it Time or do we call it Trying to Find a Way? So we're stuck in the middle of that right now. We actually have a poster on the wall voting for which title to go for.
I definitely would have to hear the song again if I had my input put on it. But I think what was the first one that you said?
Time.
It's between it's between Time or Trying to Find a Way.
I think a combination of both would be like Time and then abbreviations.
Like Flash Trying to Find a Way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that would be great because the lyrics in that song definitely speak exactly what both titles are. So that's what I personally think. If you want my suggestion,
I appreciate your input. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Now, I know you mentioned that you're bumping Drake. What do you have an opinion about Drake doing the whole Aaliyah album? Do you think it? How do you think it's gonna be? You think it's gonna be hot? What's your input on that?
I think it should be done. I think it's something that should be done. Drake's, if not one of the best at this point in time, is the best. I think it's something that everyone would enjoy. To actually hear his input and his producer 40's input on Aaliyah records would be an incredible thing. I remember when Aaliyah passed away in L.A. There used to be a Tower Records on Sunset and I think Doheny. And, it was right before when she passed away, but her poster had already been up there, and they were getting ready to promote that album. And it was I can't remember what album cover it was, but it was when she was a cartoon. And I remember that, when she passed away the next day, my mom had took me and my brother up there to actually sign that big poster saying, we'll miss you, this and this stuff like that. There was so many people out there. Aaliyah's fan base, I feel, is something that's so strong that people miss. I believe she was definitely gone way before her time. I can only imagine what Aaliyah could, be doing right now. So exactly. I think it should be done. I'm all for it. Whether Timbaland and Missy are in it, whether it's not, I think it just needs to be done for the sake of music.
Okay,
Oh, I had my phone was on mute, but I was saying that I definitely feel like that's what Aaliyah fans have definitely been waiting for, and were kind of like sad for because we were like ready for her to go hard. Like a lot of people, would say that she would be better than Beyonce right now, and I totally agree with that because she was dynamite for real.
Yes, I don't know about the whole better than Beyonce. They fall in two different categories, but they'd be up there. I think they'd be up there.
Yeah. So Khleo, you have a new single that's called "So Many Girls," and the video premiered on 106 about a couple weeks ago, and now it's on MTV. Tell us about the concept about that song before we get into it.
The concept of the song, man, I really just wanted to create a record that I could feel be a party anthem for the next 5 to 10, 15 to 20 years. And, when we shot the video, we shot it in Miami, Florida. We went down there and we kind of just threw a real party. We kind of just said, we're not going to plan anything. We're just going to throw a real party, and whatever happens, we're going to film it. And that's pretty much how we came out with an incredible video, that premiered on 106 & Park on BET, is now on MTV.com. So, yeah, make sure everyone goes and votes for it through, you can text message KHL to the number 79922, or you can use the 106 & Park app to vote for the video to become the 106 & Park Countdown.
Okay. So, listeners, if you want to speak to Khleo right now, because the fans are, the line is lit. They want to speak to you. So, give them an opportunity to. So, callers, listeners, all that other good stuff, 858-556-211. And press 0 if you want to speak to Khleo. And we're going to get into So Many Girls right now. Khleo, would you do us the honors of introducing So Many Girls?
Yeah, let's do it. Yo, what's going on, man? It's the kid, Khleo Thomas. Here's my brand new single. You may have just seen the video on 106 & Park, or you may have just seen it on TV. You may have heard it on your local radio station. Here it goes, Khleo Thomas, So Many Girls, let them have it.
All right, and that was Khleo Thomas, So Many Girls. And we are back. And, Khleo, we actually have a caller. She's been patiently waiting for a little bit. So, Brittany, you're on the biz with D. What's going on?
Not much.
You got a question for Khleo?
I was just wondering, I don't mean to, I feel really bad asking this, but, I'm wondering if I can get a follow from you on Twitter.
Yeah, no problem. Is your Twitter name Bubbles Love 1D?
Yes, it is.
All right, bet. I'm about to follow you right now, but you got to do me a favor if I'm going to follow you.
What was that?
You got to make sure you put the Society and Slick Living and 1,000 M's inside your bio, okay?
I will do that.
All right, cool. I just followed you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this a lot. I am. Oh my God. I'm
Don't
speechless.
cry, honey.
Don't cry.
Thank you.
All right, Brittany. Appreciate it, love. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks so much, Brittany.
You're welcome.
You have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Not a problem. So, Didi, you got some more questions for Khleo?
Yes. In your song, you said you're a freak. What's your freak scale from 1 to 10?
My freak scale from 1 to 10 is definitely like a 15.
Okay, and what is your favorite position?
Oh, man, that list go on and on. All positions.
Oh,
ain't no
damn,
all positions. You got to enjoy that part of your life. So, all positions.
So you don't have no limits in the bed? None whatsoever?
No, none at all. None.
Ooh, my heart just dropped. But okay, wow. That's what I really wanted to ask. Go ahead, David.
Wow. Didi, I didn't even know you were going to ask that.
Yes, I was. I wasn't playing. I had to ask because he said he was a freak, so I needed to know if he was really a freak.
Oh yeah, I don't fake the funk about it at all. That's real.
Oh, how old was you when you lost your virginity?
Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that. What? Can't tell you that.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought I'd try to throw it in there real quick.
Right.
Go ahead,
Oh
baby.
my goodness. Okay. So Khleo, with your I know back in 2010 you had a debut mixtape. How was your reaction like from that mixtape overall? Because I know you got over like 200,000 downloads in the first month. How was that, reaction and response for you?
It was an amazing feeling, man, because I created that mixtape in my room, like just by myself with nobody else. It was just me, my computer, and the microphone. And to put it out and for people just to appreciate the creativity, it meant the most to me because it was my debut. And to have a debut so strong, and to this day my fans love it. They go back and listen to those songs continuously. So it was an incredible feeling, man. I'm glad I decided to stop waiting on everyone else's word. People saying they're gonna do this and this and this. I just said, you know what, I'm not waiting. I'm just gonna go, and I did it. So it's an amazing feeling.
Right. Now, have you ever had like being that now that you do music, have you ever had someone tell you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do this for you, and then they not actually like be a man of their word, and you just go, be like, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't need you. Like, have you ever been in that position?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone has been in those type of positions where, a person's word really doesn't mean any value if they don't show the actions behind it. I'm sure everyone in this world has gone through that before, but, it came to the point where I said, you know what, I'm not going to wait on anyone else's word. I'm not going to wait on the timing. I'm just going to go for it. And I went for it. And for 2.5 to 3 years, it was just me by myself, nobody else grinding. New music being dropped, new music videos being dropped, you streaming the sessions of just me by myself. It was just 100% grind work from me, nobody else behind me.
Okay. Now, who are some of your musical influences?
Musical influence, man, I'm going to have to go with DJ Quick. I'm going to have to go with, Rick James. I'm going to have to go with The Dream. I'm going to have to go with, and Method Man. I'm going to say Method Man.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Rick James. What is your favorite Rick James song, just out of curiosity?
Super Freak. That's so cool.
Hey.
And this is crazy. And this is crazy because it's like our generation, doesn't really know Rick James as a musician. We know him because of Dave Chappelle. We just know that Dave Chappelle made him funny with the skits. But to me, Rick James was a true artist. This man was on stage, really singing these records and put it on just one hell of a show. Not only that, he was writing for other artists. He was bringing other artists into the music world. So to me, Rick James, was the most creative person during that point in time, and that's why I respect and love his music. But it really is sad to say that our generation won't know him more than just the skit.
Preaching over there, Khleo.
So let me ask you, what is your opinion on hip hop, or I should just say music in general nowadays?
I mean, music is in a beautiful place, man. It's so, I think everybody went overboard with, music is this, is that, looking at it as it's lower than what it's ever been. Music has changed and become diversified for years. It's never been the same. It's changed, and it's going to continue to change and change and change. Our parents were looking at their parents like, why y'all listen to that old music? Why y'all listen to that type of music? And now our parents looking at us like, why y'all listen to that type of music? I'm looking at my little brother like, why are you listening to that type of music? Music changes, and that's what it's going to continue to do. It's a generation type of thing.
Right. That's very true. It definitely does change. And, I feel like we can all three of us right now can tell where the evolving has changed through the 90s, the 80s, the 2000s. Now we get into these double digits of the 2000s now. Shoot, shit's really changing and getting crazier.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
So now I know you toured with artists like Bow Wow. How was that experience for you?
It was a great experience simply because, me and Bow really just became cool friends after filming Roll Bounce. We were on set one day, and it just came out of the blue when he asked me to be his hype man for Scream Tour. I was in shock. I was like, wait, what? It came literally out of the blue. It just came and asked me on set when they were like, yo, you want to be my hype man for the screen tour? I was like, what? Huh? I was, to this day, I'm still shocked that it really happened. But, Bow, he knew that I did music. He knew that I wrote the theme song for the movie Holes, and he wanted to take me under his wing and show me, what an artist at that point in time, at their prime, selling out arenas could really do and what it could be like. And it was an incredible experience for me. I learned so much. To this day, I've everything I've learned from being on tour with him, I've put into my own show, and I make sure to go out there and give 100% of myself at all times. I got to see the Madison Square Garden sold out 2 nights in a row on that tour. And us being the headliner, Bow Wow being the headliner, and me being right next to him. It was an amazing feeling.
Wow, it's gotta be. So I know also you had the pleasure of, working with Soulja Boy for a little bit. How was that short experience for you?
Really cool because, me and Soulja just became cool. He was featured on my first mixtape. And after he heard how well the mixtape was doing, he called me one day. He told me to come over to the house, and we sat down and talked, and he asked me what did I want to do next as far as my career. I told him what were my plans, and he told me he wanted to be a part of it. He said he wanted to help me go to the next level. And, we just aimed toward that. Business-wise, I felt for me in the long run it wasn't going to be the best outcome, or it wasn't going to be the best look for me. So I decided to step back from it. But till this day, me and Soulja are really close. We still friends.
Nice. So Slick Livin', that's a dope title for the mixtape. I definitely love the song Slick, by the way, and the whole concept of it.
Thank you.
So how did you just for that mixtape in general, how did you come up with the concept for Slick Livin'?
It was originally just a name. It was originally something I started saying, and then it became the name of the mixtape. Then it became the name of a brand for a clothing line, and now it's becoming a full-on actual lifestyle and a way of living. It's about to be a cologne pretty much soon. It's going to be a perfume. It's going to be its own company. It's branding everywhere right now. So it was really something that just started so small, man. And thanks to my fans and my team, it's become something, its own entity at this point.
The Team Khleo goes hard. I can tell you that. They go real hard.
Yeah, they're incredible.
They extremely go hard. So how often would you say that speaking of Team Khleo, how often would you say that you connect with your fans on a regular daily basis?
Constantly. It's on, whether I'm on Facebook, Ustream, or if I'm on Twitter, I'm constantly interacting with my fans, telling them, what's going on. Team Khleo is very, key in wanting to stay involved in everything I'm doing and wanting to see me succeed just as much as I want to see myself succeed. So they've been with me since the beginning, and they're going to continue to ride, and I couldn't thank them any more for that. Team Khleo is amazing.
You definitely are. So I know you said, you've got the cologne, the perfume coming out. What's next besides, the things you just mentioned?
At the top of the list right now is this collaboration album between me and Chris Batson. After that, continuing to tour and to promote So Many Girls, the single, and the music video. After that, get ready to gear up for the next single. After that, gear up for the next line of Slick Livin' apparel. And after that, start another role in another movie and just continue to keep the ball rolling.
Nice. I'm definitely looking forward.
Something